Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Marina Nani speaking from Radio Works World, and today's show is hosted by my dear friend from all the way from South Africa, Charmaine. Over to you, Charmaine.
Hello, it's afternoon on my side. Thank you, Marina, for having me here. I'm really excited. And today we are here on Radio Works and we're going to talk about anything that you would like to talk about. The show is about our conversations, and today that's just exactly what we're going to do. So be free to open up, be yourself, and just let's hear it.
Wow, Charmaine. So tell me your story. Let's start with sharing your story. I'm sure our listeners, which I'm very grateful that they are here and they are listening and they are keep sending us great questions. Tell us, what is your story? What brought you where you are right now?
Oh, myself, I'm recently an entrepreneur after 6 years of working in corporate, and one day it clicked to me that I need to now follow my passion. Now I was very happy where I was, but there was one thing missing, and that was being able to connect to a bigger crowd. I would say people that are outside of my comfort zone and that essentially have things that I have in common, and which is children at this stage. There's an orphanage that I'm helping out right now. I love creative writing. I love music. I love drawing, and that's the kind of environment that I wanted to be in as a young person in South Africa. And being female, it's really difficult, and I do suppose for most as well. It doesn't matter your age or where your background, but if you have a burning desire and you have a strong message that you want to deliver. And mine comes from the many challenges that I faced, even though I'm young. People always say, but Charmaine, how can you say that you have had that many challenges that you wish to speak to the world about this? But the big one was major depression, going through that and coming out of it. I remember one of my older friends who is in his 50s said to me, you are very lucky to go through this now and actually work through it now, because a lot of people stay stuck in the state of mind of hating their lives, of not being happy, and they die that way. And I see it a lot in people, and that's just what I want to relieve. It comes from so many different aspects of our lives, but if we find our purpose, our why, then it's easier to work towards getting out of that. Yes.
Charmaine, I've been to South Africa, and I remember myself finishing one of my books, and just
Mm-hmm.
before I sent the so this is how I arrived to South Africa. This is how I discovered
Mm-hmm.
South Africa. And I'm not talking about the beautiful nature. I'm talking about the people, the amazing people I
Yes.
met there. So I
Yes.
was sending to press my the book, and just before I sent, I clicked to send. A thought came to my mind. I had to add it. Is the very last sentence from the book, and I said there
Mm-hmm.
something like. What's happening next, because everybody was asking me, so what's next, where are you going next, being away from home all the time. It was my journey which I was sharing. So I said, what's next? I'm going to South Africa. Don't ask me why, meet me
Yes.
there. So
Yes.
I talked to my children. I said, who is coming with me? They're others, they're your age. And my all my children, especially my two sons, they said, Mom, what's wrong with you? Why would you go there? Don't you know what's happening there? I said,
Mm-hmm.
what's happening there? So it was, it just, I could not understand why I said that. And now, because I put in a book, the book was printed, and people were expecting me to deliver that part of my journey. And I was very excited
Mm-hmm.
about, nothing could stop me. So none of my children want to come with me. I had nobody else to ask. And I was thinking I'll go by myself, but my children were so afraid for my life. I don't know what was wrong with them. Maybe because I'm a single parent, they don't have anyone else in the world. So they said, "Mom is going to Canada. She's going to France, to Italy, to Germany, to Europe in general, and America. It's okay. It's close by,
But South
or
Africa,
it's safe, or But going to South Africa, because they read
yeah,
all this in a headline, the headlines in a paper are
yes,
not really um, how should I put this, inviting you to come to South Africa, and they are keep
yes,
talking about shooting and gun points and all of that. So
yes.
that, that's the perception from the outside world, from the Western world, for somebody who never been there before. So I said to them, I will go to South Africa no matter what. And guess what happens next? That evening, I got a message from my publisher at the time, and he was my mentor. And they said, "We are reaching out to you." Literally, this is what they said, to ask
Mm-hmm.
if you want to join us and speak in South Africa.
Wow.
And to me, that was the beginning of a new time in my life. Not
Yes.
because I was excited anyway and I couldn't wait anyway. It was because something opened up for me. So I asked, I said my desire, what I wanted, because you're talking about desire, and that
Yes.
opportunity came to me. So of course I arrived to Johannesburg like just before midnight, and
Mm-hmm.
my children made sure I have a shuttle from the airport to the hotel and so on. So I I expected a shuttle. I didn't expect an old car with a gentleman which was as confused as I was, and he had no idea what the address was, and said, "But do you know a
Oh
landmark? We
no.
don't have a street address here."
Oh,
So I so
yes.
I thought, okay. So it was midnight. So I jump on this. I was all by myself. I jump on this
Oh
car, not
no.
knowing where I'm going, and nor the driver. But you know what? I felt safe. I felt very safe because I knew I were where I supposed to be, and that's all that
Yes.
matters. And of course, then I made lots of friends, and my heart is there. I left by my heart is there. So it's not that I was by myself. I realized that you are never alone. Your
No.
desire
Yes.
is with you. Your dream, whatever it is, your dream. Even I couldn't understand why I'm going to South Africa and why that had happened.
Yes.
Even me doing nothing, I just put the thought out there. I'm going to South Africa, so I had no plan, no directions, no nothing. So I landed in South Africa, and I met so much greatness, and I embraced it. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, I came for a few more times, and I was overwhelmed by how much wisdom is there, how much South African carry in their heart. For me, it's everything
Yes.
that you have is in your heart. It's
Yes.
nothing outside you. So whatever you have, houses, cars, airplanes, whatever it is, doesn't impress me. What really makes me click is when I see who you are inside. And each time we had few events anyway. So
Inside.
I had a few, I call them barefoot retreats, where people walk on the beach, and and after that we had some sort of spa treatment, like a couple of ladies doing the pedicure, and because
Mm-hmm.
we were walking on the beach barefoot
Mm-hmm.
during the event. So these ladies, um, they were so profound, and I learned so much from them that I
Mm-hmm.
felt like it's nothing I can teach you. Really? Why I would? So the only thing, and I was keep thinking about this for a long time.
Yes.
Why I'm there? I mean, I must be there for a reason, which I couldn't understand. So then I realized that actually I was there because my divine job was to be there to discover you and broadcast your passion for inner greatness and
Wow.
give the world the chance to meet you on air or
Yes.
wherever we are, broadcasting um, people and talent and great opportunities, which are the people in South Africa themselves.
Yes.
That's my divine mission. And then, of course, I went to other countries and I discover how much greatness is everywhere. It's almost like overwhelming. Oh my God, so much talent, so much
Yes. Yes.
divine talent. And I think on the third trip or the second trip, I can't remember now exactly, but it was in 2013. And I was at the airport waiting to board the plane. And
Mm-hmm.
I had a few minutes and I was wandering, and everywhere I would go, I don't know if you've been to Johannesburg airport, international airport, on the
Yes.
walls, there are
Yes.
written in stone is an old African proverb who says, if you want to travel fast, you travel alone. If you want to travel far, you travel together. And that,
Yes.
Charmaine, changed my life. I have pictures and I'm going to send you a few from back then. And it was everywhere I will turn, at every single turn, it will be this proverb on the wall, like with these little stones. So it was like written on the wall in stone. So it was not like an advert or something. It was an African
Yes.
proverb on the wall, as big as you could see. You could not avoid, you could not escape the meaning of that proverb. So then,
Mm.
to me, for me, everything changed since. I decided that I will broadcast your passion no matter what, on a horseback.
Wow.
Because I really think, Charmaine, that the sacred secret of life is sharing. So tell me, so what is the moment? I told you my story, why I'm here with you right now. Tell me, what is that moment? Not a general idea, not the big picture, the small detail that
Yes.
day that made you turn your life around and decide, you know what? I'm going to take this risk. I'm going to go outside what I know. I'm going to drop certainty. I'm going to embrace uncertainty. I'm going to turn challenges into opportunities. Tell me about that moment. Please share with us your moment, because that is going to inspire so many people.
Marina, I'm glad that you're asking me to share this moment, and thank you for that. Before I do, though, I just want to go back to this African proverb that had inspired you so much. In Africa and South Africa particularly, we call that walking together. There's a term we call it Ubuntu, and it means humanity, eh, being together, humanity. And that was for me the thing that got me to get up and do what I've always wanted to do. Growing up, I struggled a lot with things that happened to me that I could not explain. Um, uh, Spirituality, I would say, spiritually, yes, I had those kind of challenges. And the greatest thing for me was that I could not sit down and talk to anybody about it without sounding crazy or sounding like, but this is not even possible. I mean, just from dreams and experiences that I was having at the time. And I understood then that, I'm going through this for a reason. I went through a time where I had headaches, really, really severe headaches. I was in and out of hospital, and they could never understand why. I did all sorts of scans and tests, and but everything seemed normal, my body, except I was not okay. And I remember that time, we growing up, how we were never really that religious or spiritual in that way. And I always question that, where do I really come from? I know that they have parents, but where do I come from and why am I here? it, and I could never find somebody to explain to me that. And I knew somewhere in my mind that I have to figure this out myself in a way. I am walking this journey. I am in this life and for a bigger reason. But to find it, I know that I need to get past these challenges that I have now and believe in something. So I started with the belief of knowing that there is a higher power, there is something bigger than me, which is where then I draw for myself where to go next. And then I sat back and thought, okay, what are the things that I view as wrong in this world? And there are too many, especially being here in South Africa. There's you see the poverty around, you see the crimes around, and you see the unhappiness in people. And it always bothered me, how can I make a difference? How can I make this better? But the I and the I quickly became for me a together. I need to find a pack of people that have the same vision of making this world a better place. Now, where I worked, it was mining and engineering environment and very corporate, and I didn't find any fulfillment in that. There was I didn't find feel like it's I'm reaching out to anybody on a personal level. You know, I'm not making a difference in any kind of way to anybody. So and then I thought, well, I'm here unhappy, but what am I doing about it? I complain every day to myself, and I'm starting to get depressed again. So I need to start doing something about it. And then I attended RADIO W.O.R.K.S in December, and that was for me the moment that opened my eyes to everything. You know, I walked into this room with people that have these big visions, and they seem to know where they want to go. They have direction. And then here is this man in front of us saying that if you are unhappy in your life right now, it is your fault and you have to do something about it. And I was scared, obviously. I was scared. I mean, where do I even start? Who do I go to? And how do I leave my comfort zone and leave everything that I know to start something that I've never done before? How do I even know that people are going to listen to me? And all of these insecurities rised up from me, and those were the things, the challenges that I had to go back and evaluate. Why do I have this great fear within me that I cannot be heard? And that comes from my childhood. You know, growing up, living with my stepmother and dad, we we were spoken down to a lot of times, and told that, you know, you're not good enough or you cannot do it. And but I got out of that. I knew that, no, but I understood now, and I found that I am good enough now. But here I
I
am
think I
again.
think Charmaine, you are not just good enough. I think you are you. I think you are abundant, you are
Yes,
wonderful, you have great energy. I can feel your vibrations. I can see how wonderful you are and how much you have to give. And I know sometimes people are questioning those emotions when we share
yes,
the message, and they don't understand where is the money going to come from. But today
yes.
we had the privilege of listening, having great conversation with a lady who is a teacher and at university in Europe and in Amsterdam, and she was telling us the story when her husband was asked um, at the interview. Maybe you could go back and listen to that episode, and he was asked, "So how are going to make money?" And he said he was coming from Tibet, so from a total different culture, and he said different than comparing with Europe. And he said something which I absolutely love, and said, "Oh, I'm not worried. Money it will come when I serve."
Hmm.
So I think focusing on making money instead of serving the world is what keeps people behind themselves, sort of um, you should be ahead of yourself at least by 3 steps, in
Absolutely.
you should see yourself in front of you. So that person, that powerful person, that gifted person, the true self should be in front of you and drag you along your old self. Charmaine, I think that's all we have for today, because I'm sure we could meet very soon again. I can't wait for your next show. And I just wanted to ask before we end today's episode, what is the key message you want to put out there? What is that you want our listeners, to whom I'm very, very grateful for listening in today? What is that you want to tell them today? Speak your heart.
To please, I could, I almost want to stand up and say this as if they would see me, but really,
You know what,
whatever
Charmaine?
it,
You can sing it. You can sing it. You don't need to say it. You could sing it. Could you sing?
say again.
You can sing it. You could sing. Why don't you sing?
Oh yes, I can sing it. I can.
Yes.
And it's you have to find for yourself the healing within you. And if you cannot, if because sometimes we have to draw from a higher place or a higher power, but you have to find the healing from yourself, because when you draw from somebody else and depend on somebody else all the time to give you that encouragement or inspiration that you need, you have to be your own remedy. And the song that I want to sing now very briefly, I'm excited. Can you
Me
still
too.
hear me fine?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. Go on. Go on. Sing.
It's when the pain cuts you deep and the night keeps you from sleeping. Just look and you will see I will be your remedy. So be your own remedy, and heal and find it within. It's there. It's there.
Wow.
And that's my
Charmaine, I absolutely
message.
love you. I'm so grateful you are in my life, and I hope together we can travel far. From both of us, until next time, is goodbye.